Trust meteorologist Miguel Hannah Hardy for your first alert. At Parker's Kitchen, we go big. Our catfish sandwich. It's huge, bigger than the bun, with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce at Parker's Kitchen. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Bells ringing around the world for Pope Francis, who died early this morning. We're taking a live look now at the Santa Maria Basilica in Rome, where crowds are gathering to remember the Pope. The Roman Catholic Church has begun a 9-day period of mourning following the Pope's death. Now, the Pope died less than 24 hours after making a final appearance at St. Peter's Square on Easter Sunday. Tina Kraus has more on how people have more local reactions on the Pope's death in just a few minutes. But first, we're switching gears to weather now, as we're looking at some rain this week. As your First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale is tracking the latest on what we can expect. Riley.
That's right. Well, we are expecting a pattern flip for this week, so fairly dry last week, and we saw some hot temperatures. We are going to continue our warm temps for the rest of the week. Definitely not going to see anything below average, but the difference this week is that we are going to bring in some decent storm chances, especially by the middle of the week. You can see as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we're expecting a much higher opportunity for some thunderstorms. But once we get to our 7-day forecast, you're going to see most days on it have at least the chance for some thunderstorms at some point. So before you head out the door of the next couple of days, I don't think you're going to need a jacket. It's definitely going to be warm enough to just get by with a short sleeve shirt, but you may want to grab that umbrella with you. I would say Tuesday does look mostly dry. This front is still well off towards our west, but by Wednesday and Thursday, front is getting closer and those storm chances will be ramping up. Much more on the timing of that rain for you in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. The Catholic community in the CSRA mourning the Pope's passing and remembering him. Your Audrey Dickerber joins us live at 5 here. Audrey, you spoke with the local church on his impact and his legacy.
Well, Pope Francis was a leader to many, and not even just in Augusta, but we did see that impact outside of it as well. And you didn't have to be Catholic to look up to him or find him inspiring either. After speaking with people today about the legacy he left behind, they told me he helped bridge gaps, helping people who are and aren't Catholic understand each other better, saying he was an open and loving Pope, wanting to spread his message to everyone. One priest at St. Mary's Catholic Church says he thinks history will show that he had a great impact on the church, helping it not be lethargic or status quo, because God created us for unity.
I was very upset. I feel like Pope Francis was just such a wonderful man. He was very good to the poor, and I feel like he was a very open Pope that was open to talking to diverse groups.
And even though he has passed away, people continue to spread his message and plan on doing that as well.
All right, thanks, Audrey, for bringing us some of that local reaction from our own community. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is reacting as well to the death of Pope Francis. In a post on X, he says, quote, "We join all Georgians and those around the world mourning the loss of Pope Francis. His heart for all of God's creation should inspire each of us to live out the great commandment to love our neighbor." Georgia Senator, Raphael Warnock is honoring the Pope's legacy as well. The senator met with the pontiff last year. He says the two spoke and prayed about humanitarian crisis across the world, including Ukraine and Palestinians in Gaza. Senator Warnock is reflecting on the Pope's sense of humor as well.
At the end of our time together, he said, "Would you like to pray?" And I said, "Sure, let's pray." And he said, "You pray for me first, but don't pray against me, pray for me." He had a great sense of humor. And then finally, we call the Pope His Holiness. This is a man of God who understood that there's a profound sense in which all of God's children are holy.
And the two also talked about the NATO Defense College in the World Food Program. To local news now, a man has been arrested in connection to a shooting in Waynesboro. Burke County deputies say 28-year-old Quindarius Beasley faces 4 counts of aggravated assault after several shots were fired at a car on Highway 56 yesterday. Deputies say one victim was involved in a physical fight with Beasley before the shooting. Beasley is booked in the Burke County Jail. No bond has been set yet. And the GBI needs your help solving a murder from 33 years ago in Effingham County. Dean Marie Chambers was found dead on Old River Road in 1992. Officials say Chambers left Sheffield, Alabama in March of that year to hitchhike to her home in Sardis. She's believed to have last been seen at around April 12th of 1992 wearing white British Knight high-top tennis shoes, blue jeans, and a white shirt or brown jacket. If you have any information, you can call the GBI tip line. We're learning more about an inmate booked after she was allegedly shot in the face by her daughter. Deputies say Sophia Kitchens made a threat to a man on her way to Eden Court on April 13th. Now, arrest warrants say that Kitchens attempted to do bodily harm to the victim and used an unknown make and model taser weapon. Deputies say the victim attempted to defend himself by trying to take the taser weapon from Kitchens. Warrants say Kitchens told deputies that the victim assaulted her with a gun even though she never saw it. Authorities say Kitchens' daughter, 26-year-old Lyric Dorsey, fired a gun aiming at the victim, but instead she hit Kitchens in the face. Kitchens was then taken to AU Medical Center and is facing charges of giving false statements and terroristic threats and acts. Dorsey is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. The sheriff's office says Kitchens was cleared by doctors to go to the jail, and they don't have any say in these medical decisions. A man arrested and facing sexual assault charges in Richmond County. Deputies say the victim was inappropriately touched by a man after they connected through social media on Friday. Reports show she told deputies Terrence McLean allegedly became aggressive, grabbing her throat. Deputies say the suspect faces 1 count of sexual assault. And deputies need your help finding 2 missing people out of Richmond County. Deputies are searching for 16-year-old Alton Christopher. He was last seen yesterday afternoon at around 4:30, leaving his home on Murphy Road. It's unknown what he was last wearing. If you know where Alton is or have any information about this case, you can call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And more than 2 years after he disappeared, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office continues to search for Bruce Barker. Barker has cerebral palsy and has difficulty walking. He's been missing since February of 2023 when he was last seen at a home on Milledgeville Road. Deputies say Barker disappeared under, quote, suspicious circumstances. If you know anything about where Barker or where he may be, you can call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and you also can remain anonymous. House members in South Carolina are looking at a bill that would bring the first casino to the state, what officials say is needed before that can happen. Riley?
And we are looking at higher storm chances heading towards the middle of the week, but temperatures are going to stay warm. Full forecast just after break.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
Bojangles is shaking up. Welcome back, folks. It is a warm Monday afternoon. We're up to 85 degrees right now. If you're heading out this evening, temperatures will be fairly mild. We're only going to drop to near 60 for a low temperature tonight. So that's going to be the trend most days this week, is that our morning temps will be waking up close to 60. Afternoon highs will be in the mid-80s, really, honestly, through the weekend. Heading into tomorrow, the one thing we're worried about early tomorrow morning, maybe some patchy early fog, especially if you're crossing over the Savannah River. We're going to be up towards Clarksville Lake. High temps tomorrow back into the 80s. An isolated shower thunderstorm is possible Tuesday afternoon, but I think it's much more likely you see a shower thunderstorm on Wednesday. That's when we have a much more higher chance of seeing some thunderstorms across the area. And the main concern with storms this week is just going to be heavy rain and lightning. Definitely some threats we have to pay attention to with thunderstorms, but luckily not expecting a huge severe weather threat, thankfully, with most storms that we're looking at this week. You can see for tomorrow, there's our isolated storm chance favoring mainly areas north of I-20, but once we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, really it's everybody's got an equal chance of seeing a pretty good thunderstorm pass you by at any point during the day. Once we get into Friday, less of a chance for storms, but most likely going to increase again as we head towards the weekend. Let's take a look at our in-house model here. So early tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up near 60 degrees. Those afternoon highs climbing into the mid-80s. You can see maybe a spotty shower thunderstorm by the afternoon that would favor areas mainly between Clarksville and I-85. So just just that narrow corridor right there. Once we get into Tuesday evening, the sea breeze front now moving inland. That may be able to kick up a shower or thunderstorm in some of our southern and eastern counties. Once we get into Wednesday, though, watch what happens Wednesday. By the time we get to around noontime, we're already starting to bubble up some thunderstorm activity, and this will just kind of spread across the region as we head later into our Wednesday afternoon and even portions of our Wednesday evening. So a lot of the thunderstorm activity we're anticipating over the next several days is going to be mainly driven by some daytime heating, but wherever some leftover boundaries are, they can quickly initiate some shower and thunderstorm development. This is early Thursday. Our in-house model wants to even bring in some rain early Thursday, but more likely by the afternoon, once again, once we add some of that daytime heating. So much better chance to see these thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday, but looking at our 7-day forecast, you can see most days have at least a chance for a thunderstorm or two. As far as temperatures go, morning temps not really going to change all too much. We're going to stay near 60 degrees, but afternoon highs just varying from the mid and low 80s for the rest of the week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. Temperatures are warming up and people are starting to hit the water, but drowning is something that happens to people of all races, ages, and genders. Your First Alert meteorologist Emily Acton is on your side with what you need to look out for ahead of the summer season.
Hitting the pool, lake, or river this time of year is a great way to beat the heat, but it's important to stay safe while cooling off. JP Hammond, aquatics coordinator, advises parents to keep a vigilant eye while their children are in or near a body of water.
And make sure you're paying attention to where your kids are, where they are at in the pool, and especially what they're doing. So it helps us as lifeguards out.
JP advises children to do one thing before they get in the water.
So the first thing for the kids is always ask permission before you go in any pool, whether that's asking mom, dad, grandma, aunt, uncle, ask the lifeguards. You always ask permission, and then never swim alone.
One thing that can help parents keep an eye on their child is putting them in a bright colored swimsuit.
Yellows, pinks, even bright greens for pools are fine. Reds are easy to see.
Bright swimsuits are not the only thing to pay attention to before you go to the pool. Having proper life jacket and floating devices are also a necessity.
Coast Guard approved life jackets, they float better. They're more secure on the person's body. They're not as easy to slip out of.
And remember, anyone can fall victim to drowning, so stay vigilant around water.
The best swimmers in the world still have lifeguards at the Olympics.
In Augusta, Emily Acton on your side.
And the YMCA Aiken Pool opens Memorial Day weekend. Well, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signing the tort reform bill into law. The bill would make it harder for people to sue businesses for things happening on their property. Small business owners say they're frustrated with having to pay huge settlements over lawsuits they feel are frivolous. Under the legislation, businesses would have to have prior knowledge of a safety issue or a wrongdoing employee in order to be sued. Opponents of the bill say nothing in its language requires insurance companies to lower their rates. Well, this week, South Carolina lawmakers are discussing a bill that would bring the very first casino to the state. The planned bill would bring the new casino to Orangeburg County. Now, the bill would bring economic development to the Santee area. Officials say it's a place where business development is slow and they need more jobs. They say the promise of new businesses would help build an area connecting Columbia and Charleston. It also would help support rural schools. One councilman says if they bring a casino in, they've got some work to do.
If the casino do come, and I know we need more EMS for more fire protection, water, sewer, and things of that sort, because when you're talking about building what they are planning, maybe 2 or 3 story high-rise hotels, and it's going to need more of those amenities.
Santee is a retirement community with many religious groups who are wary of gambling and the uptick in crimes they believe is associated with casinos. Parents and guardians of Richmond County Schools, listen up. There's a new process requiring you to update your contact information and register for bus transportation. You'll need to fill out the information on the Infinite Campus Parent Portal. This will need to be completed by May 30th for all new and returning families. And there's a scam going around with voicemails involving loans, what you should do to avoid losing money and how you can report them. Riley?
Well, we've been talking about the storm chances going up as we head towards the middle of the week, but we'll have a look at how much rain we're expecting with these storms just after a short break.
First Alert. First Alert Radar. Powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
You've been seeing our commercials for months, and while you've been watching homeowners across our area save their roofs and save thousands of dollars, guess what? You can too. Roof Saver's exclusive patent-pending Renew at 17 roof preservation treatment extends the life of your roof by 17 years with just one application and one treatment. Call Roof Savers right now for your free roof inspection to see if your roof qualifies.
Augusta, stop worrying about an expensive roof replacement. Let us visit your home and inspect your roof to see if you qualify for roof preservation. With just one application of Renew at 17, we can extend the life of your roof by 17 years. Prior to our treatment, we will also include a full roof tune-up and replace missing shingles, plus clean your roof to remove unsightly algae, mold, and dirt.
We're proud to announce that Roof Savers is the first roofing company to be approved and partnered with the Wounded Warrior Program in the United States. Listen to Dr. David Godbold.
This preservation treatment that you have with Roof Savers going forward and a 17-year warranty is absolutely unheard of. Our entire staff and our scientists basically had to check this chemical out before I would even allow it to be sprayed on any home dealing with any veteran or any of our wounded warriors. So that's why I'm doing it first, to be the leader, to let people know that for me to do it, it had to meet every bit of the criteria that we look for in putting our name on it.
America's #1 choice for roof preservation is Roof Savers. Save your roof, save your money.
The Georgia Tobacco Quit Line.
All right, welcome back, folks. Take a look at how much rain we're expecting over the next few days. Remember, for your Tuesday, I would say a lot of us do look dry. We're not expecting the more measurable rainfall to show up across a lot of the region until we get to Wednesday and Thursday. You can see as we continue, at least through around midday Thursday, these are look at some of our totals. So if you stay on the outskirts, maybe just a few hundredths of an inch, but if you get underneath a decent thunderstorm, you could definitely get close to an inch of rainfall over the next couple of days. So I think this will be a feast or famine type setup where some of us could definitely pick up some very heavy rainfall if you're underneath some thunderstorms for an hour or two. But if you just stay away from thunderstorm activity, your rain totals may not necessarily be as impressive. Not expecting any rain the rest of this evening or tonight. If you are heading out, temperatures will drop to most likely the upper 50s by early tomorrow morning. And then heading into tomorrow, we're expecting those high temps to get close to 90, most likely a high temp of 87 degrees out there for your Tuesday. High temps will stay warm in the 80s for the rest of the week, and have the umbrella close by once you head out the door Wednesday and Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. As you prepare for summer travels, you will need to pay more for parking at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. This is the first time in 8 years the airport is changing rates. Parking rates go up to $30 a day starting May 1st. That's up $11 from the current $19 rate. Economy parking will go from $14 to $20, and hourly parking at the domestic terminal will now be $75. We have a safety alert. A new report from the Federal Trade Commission shows consumers reported losing more than $12.5 billion to fraud in 2024. That's a 25% increase over the prior year. At the same time, people nationwide are receiving voicemails that seem innocent, but experts are warning it's a scam. Katie Weiss has the details.
When Brittany Taglarina received a call from a number she didn't recognize, she sent it to voicemail.
Hey there, this is Jessica again.
Jessica claimed to be with a loan processing center.
I've been trying to reach out to you regarding your loan application, but we haven't been able to connect yet.
The message left a number to call back.
When I first heard the voicemail, I initially thought it might have had something to do with my car loan, but what kind of stuck out to me the most was that they said call back by 5 p.m. Pacific time, which I thought was a little strange because my car loan is not on the Pacific coast.
Taglarina realized it was fake when she kept receiving the same exact call from different numbers.
I decided to report it to the Better Business Bureau.
And she's far from alone. The organization says their scam tracker has received hundreds of complaints about the calls from Jessica.
It's a classic phishing scam.
The BBB's Melanie McGovern says this type of scam is often looking for personal information.
We know our social security numbers are very valuable to scammers, so giving up that information, unfortunately, could open you up to identity theft.
Taglarina is glad she reported it.
If I could just prevent one other person from potentially getting scammed, it might help.
Authorities say reporting a scam can help others avoid it and can shut down the scammers.
Goodwill cutting the ribbon on its new donation truck at the Dave & Buster's on Cabela Drive. You can donate gently used clothing and household items to the truck every day. Anyone who donates from now until 6 can receive an exclusive Dave & Buster's bonus card. We spoke with the general manager at Dave & Buster's, who says it's a part of the company's mission to give back to the community.
So Dave & Buster's, we're always definitely looking to give back to the community, definitely where we work and where we live. Me being a local since 1987, I'm always looking for partnerships, and Goodwill is an easy decision on my end to help out this great city of Augusta.
And their truck is open from 11 to 6 every day for donations. Riley?
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon across the region. We have temperatures hitting the 80s and should see the 80s most days in the 7-day forecast, but rain chances will be going up. Now to look at it just after the break.
A big truck ruined your...
Weinberger's Furniture is making room for the new during our re-merchandising sale.
New furniture, new mattresses, new rugs, and accessories, even a whole new department.
You have to see our latest styles and fresh new looks for every room in your home.
Enjoy discounts on all our furniture, including our new patio collection, just in time for spring.
Great styles, great savings, one incredible sale.
Can you save at Weinberger's re-merchandising sale? Yes, you can.
A big truck ruined your car.
Weinberger's Furniture is making room for the new during our re-merchandising sale.
New furniture, new mattresses, new rugs, and accessories, even a whole new department.
You have to see our latest styles and fresh new looks for every room in your home.
Enjoy discounts on all our furniture, including our new patio collection, just in time for spring.
Great styles, great savings, one incredible sale.
Can you save at Weinberger's re-merchandising sale? Yes, you can.
A big truck ruined your car.
Well, beautiful into our Monday afternoon, looking over the Savannah River, the 13th Street Bridge. We have temperatures right now still at 85 degrees. We should hang steady in the 80s and 70s most of this evening if you're heading out, at least until about 8, 9, 10 o'clock later tonight. So going to keep things pretty mild for us. Not going to see a chilly night by any means. Expecting lows to eventually get down close to 60 by early tomorrow morning. If you are going to be up early tomorrow morning, maybe some patchy fog in a few spots. Temps will be upper 50s, near 60, and then we'll see those high temperatures climb to the mid-80s heading into tomorrow afternoon. Low chance for a storm Tuesday. Much more likely to see the storm activity Wednesday and Thursday as a front stalls over the region, and then later on this weekend possible as well.
George St. Entry
Savings at Great Deals on Furniture.
Some moments are too perfect for words. A love so true. A night so magical. At Windsor Jewelers, we help you find the ring that tells your love story. A ring as timeless as your forever. Because when the moment is right, only the perfect ring will do. Windsor Jewelers, where forever begins.
Time to join the Morning Mix Mug Club, sponsored by All Weather Heating and Cooling.
Head to WRDW.com/morningmix to win a Morning Mix mug.
And catch the mix Wednesday and Friday mornings to see if you're a winner. Enter today.
Crowtown, you can't handle the roof.
At Parker's Kitchen, we go big, like our huge, crunchy, juicy, never frozen chicken tenders with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce at Parker's Kitchen. You're watching News 12 live at 5 continues.
Well, construction is underway for the new Kisner Foundation and Friends Center for Pediatric Behavioral Health and Wellness at the Children's Hospital of Georgia. Your City Hood is live at 5 in the newsroom with more on how this helps kids and gives us a look at the statistics with children with developmental disabilities. Sydney.
1 in 6 kids in the country has a developmental disability like ADHD, autism, anxiety, and depression. That's according to the CDC. This new center focuses on treating those disabilities. Access to services are currently spread out across the hospital, but this new center brings it all together in one location. Doctors say there are some kids who need a higher level of care, and access is something they are aiming to increase with this new center.
Most importantly, what will be new to us is beginning to provide an intensive outpatient program for child psychiatry. That is not something we're able to offer right now. There's individual therapy offered by our child psychiatry colleagues, but an intensive outpatient program really is a bridge to prevent hospitalization for children who have more extreme needs.
Dr. Hudson says providing the intensive outpatient program will be an opportunity to work with both children and their families. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, the money going into the center to make it a reality.
All right, thanks, Cindy, for keeping us updated on that great expansion project that they have going on here. Well, a man has been arrested in connection to a shooting in Waynesboro. Burke County deputies say 28-year-old Quindarius Beasley faces 4 counts of aggravated assault after several shots were fired at a car on Highway 56 yesterday. Deputies say before the shooting, one victim was involved in a physical fight with Beasley. They then drove away and had shots fired at their car. Beasley is booked in the Burke County Jail. No bond has been set yet. The GBI says it needs your help solving a murder from 33 years ago in Effingham County. They say Dean Marie Chambers was found dead on Old River Road in 1992. Officials say Chambers left Sheffield, Alabama in March of 92 to hitchhike to her home in Sardis. She's believed to have last been seen at around April 12th of that year wearing white British night high-top tennis shoes, blue jeans, and a white shirt or brown jacket. If you have any information, call the GBI tip line. We're learning more about an inmate booked after she was allegedly shot by her daughter in the face. Deputies say Sophia Kitchens made a threat to a man on her way to Eden Court on April 13th. Now, arrest warrants say Kitchens attempted to do bodily harm to the victim and used an unknown make and model taser weapon. Now, deputies say the victim attempted to defend himself by trying to take the taser weapon from Kitchens. Warrants say Kitchens told deputies the victim assaulted her with a gun, even though she never saw it. Authorities say Kitchens' daughter, 26-year-old Lyric Dorsey, fired a gun aiming at the victim, but instead she hit Kitchens in the face. Kitchens was taken to the hospital at AU Medical Center and is facing charges of giving false statements and terroristic threats and acts. Dorsey is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. The sheriff's office says Kitchens was cleared by doctors to go to the jail, and they don't have a say in what medical decisions are made there by the doctors. Deputies need your help finding 2 missing people out of Richmond County. Richmond County deputies are asking for this missing teen on your screen. Alton Christopher, they're looking for him. The 16-year-old was last seen yesterday afternoon at around 4:30, leaving his home on Murphy Road. It's unknown what he was last wearing. If you know where Alton is or have any information about the case, you can call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. In more than 2 years after he disappeared, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office continues to search for a man named Bruce Barker. Barker has cerebral palsy and has difficulty walking. He's been missing since February of 2023 when he was last seen at a home on Milledgeville Road. Deputies say Barker disappeared under, quote, suspicious circumstances. If you know anything about where Barker is or know where he may be, you can call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office and you can remain anonymous. Well, the debate over fluoride in your drinking water is the issue heating up on a federal level. Utah is the first state to remove it entirely, and Florida may follow. But what about Georgia? Your Georgia State House reporter Abby Kasoris explains.
According to state law, all water systems must add fluoride to drinking water. The Atlanta-based Center for Disease Control found that Georgia has some of the highest rates of fluoridation at 95% of its residents. But there's an effort to change that after a new study.
By the National Toxicity Program of New Science that shows a direct inverse correlation between exposure to fluoride and IQ loss, particularly in children.
The highly contested study that Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy is referring to found higher levels of fluoride exposure. 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter are associated with lower IQ levels. Stuart Cooper with the Fluoride Action Network is leading legislative efforts to remove fluoride from drinking water across the country and here in Georgia.
Look on the back of your toothpaste bottle. It says if you swallow more than a pea-sized amount, call poison control. That's a 1/4 milligram of fluoride, the same in a 10-ounce glass of fluoridated drinking water.
The CDC considers community water fluoridation one of the 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. And doctors like family medicine Dr. Cecil Bennett calls the study a one-off. He points to other studies that show fluoride in drinking water can decrease tooth decay by 25%.
These latest studies, when we're looking at increased fluoride levels affecting brain function,
we're looking at fluoride levels that were twice the level of what we're looking at in drinking water. So it's really not comparing apples to oranges.
He says people in rural Georgia or people with lower incomes are most at risk. You can get fluoride naturally from fresh produce and seafood.
We make these public health changes. The people who suffer are the poorer folks in our society.
Secretary Kennedy has said he's talking with governors about following Utah's lead in removing fluoride from their water. We reached out to Governor Kemp's office for a comment, but have not heard back. In Kennesaw, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. House members in South Carolina are looking at a bill that would bring the first casino to the state. What officials say is needed before it can happen. Riley?
And we are looking dry the rest of your Monday, most of Tuesday, but as we head into the middle of the week, Wednesday, Thursday are looking pretty wet around these parts. Have an update on the forecast just after the break.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
Join us right here on WRDW News 12 at 11 a.m. for Warren A Way of Life. Visit us anytime online at warren.church for more information.
Raleigh, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signing the tort reform bill into law. The bill would make it harder for people to sue businesses for things happening on their property. Small business owners say they're frustrated with having to pay huge settlements over lawsuits they feel are frivolous. Under the legislation, businesses would have to have prior knowledge of a safety issue or a wrongdoing employee in order to be sued. Opponents of the bill say nothing in its language requires insurance companies to lower their rates. This week, South Carolina lawmakers are discussing a bill that would bring the very first casino to the state. The planned bill would also bring the new casino to Orangeburg County. The bill would bring economic development to the Santee area. Officials say it's a place where business development is slow and they need more jobs. They say the promise of new business would help build an area connecting Columbia and Charleston. It also would help support rural schools. One lawmaker says he's concerned about how the bill would only allow casinos in certain areas and not the whole state.
According to Baylor's study on casinos where they popped up in Mississippi, New Jersey, places like this, where they, same idea, poor, impoverished areas, we're going to put a casino there and it'll raise the economy. Well, it turns out for every dollar that the state brought in revenue, they had to spend $4 on law enforcement, welfare, interdiction stuff, and prisons. So it actually is a net loss, according to that study, for the state.
And Santee is a retirement community with many religious groups who are wary of gambling and the uptick in crimes they believe is associated with casinos.
If you love yard sales and thrift stores, or if you have something to sell, have I got an app for you? I'm Jamie Tucker, coming up with a look at Whatnot, a combination of eBay and TikTok.
You have outdoor plans heading into tomorrow. We are expecting mostly dry conditions Tuesday. Hot temperatures, though, back into the mid-80s. Have a look at how much rain we're expecting with those storms Wednesday, Thursday, just after a short break.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Or come see us in Graniteville. Your drive starts with Gerald Jones.
For more than 40 years, our family has been confidently serving the CSRA. Our friendly and knowledgeable team at A&D is here to help you from design to install. Don't leave your project in the hands of subcontractors. Our in-house certified flooring installers are the most trusted in the business. We offer free in-home consultations and financing options up to 48 months interest-free to help bring your vision to life.
A&D Carpets and Hardwoods. Come see us today.
We need some help.
I know.
999.
Welcome back, folks. We are expecting rain chances to be going up over the next couple of days. I would imagine most of the rain stays away from Augusta for Tuesday, but once we get to Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have a better opportunity for some hit or miss downpours, even some thunderstorms. Luckily, the severe weather threat does look low. I think this map's doing a good job at showing the story. So feast or famine. If you get underneath a thunderstorm, you can definitely get close to an inch of rainfall. If you just stay on the outskirts, maybe just a tenth to a quarter inch of rain out there. So not necessarily an all-day washout event either day this week that we are looking at these storm chances to be with us. So if you have outdoor plans, just keep that First Alert weather app close by. I'll let you know if any lightning's getting close to your location. 85 degrees this afternoon. Live look outside of our studios. Doesn't look like there's too many traffic issues right now there on I-20. Smooth sailing on Riverwatch and here at our exit. Temperatures will stay in the mid-80s over the next couple of days. High storm chances Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see a drop in that storm activity Friday, but back in action for Saturday.
Thanks, Riley. Yard sales are always popular this time of year, but now there's a new way to buy and sell things someone doesn't want. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker takes a look at a new shopping app.
Launched in 2019, Whatnot is a smartphone app and a website where you can go watch people live selling things they no longer want.
Pre-1850. Yeah,
You might find collectibles, antiques, clothing, or, well, anything you might find in specialty shops and garage sales. Unlike other platforms, though, where you just see photos, Whatnot is all live. Sellers do a show and tell while buyers bid.
These are like a little girl and a little boy planter.
Most sellers specialize in a category, but there are thrift stores, yard sales, and estate sales. Buyers can choose which categories to follow. It's become extremely popular with sneakerheads, vintage resellers, and pop culture collectors. You have to get approved to sell and then schedule your live show. Buyers bid or purchase the items instantly with a buy it now option. Whatnot takes 8% of the sales price. Buyers pay for standard shipping. It's free to shop and browse in the app and on the Whatnot website. It's a fun way to find bargains and collectibles, and the community is growing. Whether you're shopping or selling, it's a digital take on rummage sales and thrift stores. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Whatnot is the app of the day.
The Whatnot app has been downloaded over 11 million times. The app is available for iPhone and Android devices, and you can shop and sell on the website. Well, the GHSA playoffs start this week, and while there's plenty of CSRA representation out there, one team continues to stick out among the rest. Your Joseph Doring joins us now with more.
Yeah, well, just like the past 2 seasons, Harlem baseball continues to be above the rest in competition. The back-to-back state champions are a staggering 29-0 this year, and one more deep playoff run could put them in the history books once again. If the Bulldogs can continue this role into late May, it would be the second varsity baseball three-peat in school history. The first time it happened was back in 1981, 82, and 83. While the rosters and the game itself may have changed drastically since the 80s, the one thing that hasn't is the man in charge. Hall of Fame head coach Jimmy Lewis has seen 8 of the program's 9 state championships. While his team hasn't experienced the feeling of a loss this season, he says there's no room to get comfortable.
If I come to the ballpark, no matter who we play and no matter when it is, and I'm not nervous, it's time me to quit and go home because something's wrong. Because I'm going to be nervous before every ball game. I don't care who we play. On any given day, any team can beat you. And like I tell my crowd, you can beat anybody, anywhere, anytime if you play Harlem baseball and play like you're supposed to. But you've got to respect your opponent and be ready to play.
The quest for a three-peat starts this Friday at Jimmy Lewis Field. Harlem will face Mount Zion Jones in a doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. Riley?
All right, thanks for that, Joseph. Looking ahead over the next several mornings, temperature is going to feel pretty mild for us. We're actually going to wake up near 60 degrees for most mornings the rest of the week. I'm going to look at that 7-day for you just after a short break.
What's for dinner?
Well, live look over SRP Park in the Savannah River. If you are heading out for an evening dog walk out there, we got temperatures staying warm for us. Most likely 80s and 70s, at least they're around 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So no need for the coat if you're heading out. We do have hot temperatures expected most afternoons this week. We are going to keep our afternoon highs a little bit above average. Average high temp this time of year near 80, so we're going to be about 3 to 5 degrees above that for the rest of the week. Rain chances do start to go up as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and then do drop off a little bit Friday before ramping back up Saturday.
The weather, it's something that affects us all every day.
from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we First Alert.
By now, everybody has shared their condolences for the Pope. Here in the U.S., President Donald Trump has ordered all flags fly at half-staff until the day of interment.
And closer to home, local Catholic churches and schools are in mourning. Your Audrey Dickerber joins us live from St. Mary's on the Hill Catholic Church. Audrey, in the wake of his passing, we've seen that the Pope's loss extends far beyond just Catholics.
Definitely, and the bells are actually ringing here too. He was the kind of leader that reached beyond just Catholics. Locals tell me that he was known for being open and loving, something they try to be more like every day. Whether you grew up in the church,
I've grown up Catholic my whole entire life. I've attended Catholic school,
or not.
I had so many people that weren't Catholic tell me how much they liked the Pope.
He made an impact all over the world.
I vividly remember when Pope Francis was elected.
Even right here in Augusta.
I was very upset. I feel like Pope Francis was just such a wonderful man. He was very good to the poor, and I feel like he was a very open Pope that was open to talking to diverse groups.
Bridging gaps?
Between groups to Catholicism and to help us understand and to help them understand us. And I feel like he was just a good head of the church to represent that.
While also spreading his message.
The Pope had that gift of really reaching out, kind of challenging us, not to just be insular, but to say our real mission is to go out, to bring others to Christ.
Hoping to bring more people to the church.
So I think history will show that he had a great impact on the church, helping it to be not lethargic or status quo, to say we really have a lot of people we need to speak to because God has created us for unity.
And show people they're not alone.
And I think the Pope was trying to help young people to say, yes, you have concerns. Yes, the world is changing, and we want to walk with you. But there is a path to walk.
And that's a message that they try to pass on to many of the students here, as well as a lot of us are trying to navigate this loss.
And you can just see the impact that Pope Francis had all across the world. Thank you for that, Audrey. And among the outpouring of condolences, President Donald Trump announcing today, this evening actually, that he and First Lady Melania Trump will go to the Vatican for Pope Francis's funeral.
A loss that's being felt over the world. Thanks for that, Audrey. We've got more local news and sports coming up for you, but we're going to send things over to your First Alert. Thanks for that, Riley. Bringing together resources and experts under one roof to treat children with behavioral and mental health conditions. That's the goal behind the Kisner Foundation and Friends Center for Pediatric Behavioral Health and Wellness.
Today, construction began on that center with the intention of saving young lives right here in the CSRA. Your City Hood joins us live in the studio with the latest.
Well, this is only a preview of what the center will look like, but it's the impact that comes inside these walls those involved with the project say will be a game changer for children and their families. What's taking shape here could reshape child mental health care access.
Child psychiatry, child neurology, developmental behavioral pediatricians, and equally important, our colleagues in pediatric rehab. Many children need more than one of those services. And we think by co-locating and putting them all together that we're going to be able to find new and better ways to serve children and their families.
The heartbeat of this center is family. The Kisner Foundation donated $5.3 million for the center bearing its name.
So this would be someone who maybe is going back to school but needs therapy every afternoon. And there'll be group therapy and individual therapy offered, and everything kind of locally centralized at this center.
Something new here, an intensive outpatient program for child psychiatry.
That is not something we're able to offer right now. There's individual therapy offered by our child psychiatry colleagues, but an intensive outpatient program really is a bridge to prevent hospitalization for children who have more extreme needs.
And we wanted to break down how many emergency emergency room visits related to mental health or behavioral disorders for kids under the age of 17 in Richmond County. This is data from the Georgia Department of Public Health from 2019 to 2023, and you can see 2019 with the highest at 243. We don't have the numbers for last year yet, but as you just heard, Dr. Hudson says their new intensive outpatient program is a bridge to prevent hospitalization for kids with more extreme needs.
And Sydney, when can we expect this center to open, and why is this needed now?
Dr. Hudson says the goal is to finish by the end of 2025. She says by putting together services like child neurology and child psychiatry in one location, they'll be able to find new ways to serve children and their families.
All right, thank you, Sydney. A very important resource coming to our community. Now to a story News 12 has the latest details on after an inmate is booked into jail after she was reportedly shot in the face by her daughter. This story has caught a lot of attention online over concerns that this woman should have been in the hospital instead of a jail cell. Now we know what led up to this entire situation tonight. Authorities say Sophia Kitchens got into a fight with a man back on the 13th at a home on Eden Court. Arrest warrants say Kitchens had a stun gun and tried to harm the man. Now the warrants state that Kitchens' daughter, 26-year-old Lyric Dorsey, shot a gun attempting to hit the man, but instead shot her mother in the left side of her face. Kitchens was taken to the hospital and was later transferred to the jail there. She's charged with giving false statements and making terroristic threats and acts. Dorsey is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault and a firearms charge. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office emphasizing tonight that the decision to discharge Kitchens from the hospital with her injuries was made by licensed doctors, and they had no say in that matter.
How many people know how to perform CPR correctly? If you don't, you can learn. The American Heart Association has made it their mission to turn bystanders into lifesavers, and they need your help. They're finding solutions by setting a goal of doubling the survival of cardiac arrest by 2030. It's no secret that performing CPR correctly can save lives. The American Heart Association is working to train more people in hands-only CPR, including our students. These CPR kits can be found in schools across the CSRA, and Aiken County just received another.
So the kits contain mannequins, they contain AED simulators, all the literature and resources that an educator would need to train students, staff, faculty. We want it to be wide-reaching. We want the student population trained. That really increases our next generation of lifesavers being able to act and respond.
The American Heart Association says that cardiac arrest is a leading cause of death in the U.S., and they want to change that.
We know that currently 90% of people who experience a cardiac arrest outside of a hospital, unfortunately, do not survive. And so the beautiful part of this is that more trained individuals, more aware individuals, and more people in the community who know how to act and respond are going to increase that chain of survival.
And they need your help in saving more lives. The American Heart Association is hosting a telethon on May 1st to support CPR training, emergency response planning, and life-saving research in the CSRA.
And these funds are essential. They are a part of us being able to do what we're doing today, to provide these essential resources, this equipment, and all of the things to our community, and to make sure that equitably CPR and readiness is reaching everybody.
Cardiac emergencies can happen anywhere and anytime, but remember, you can be the difference. The American Heart Association's telethon, it's taking place Thursday, May 1st, but you can go ahead and donate now by scanning the code right here on your screen or texting CSRA AHA to 71777. Again, this goes towards CPR training, emergency response planning, and local research. We have this information on our website as well, wrdw.com.
Harlem's varsity baseball team is going for its second three-peat in school history. Coming up in sports, you'll hear what Coach has to say ahead of the playoffs. Riley?
And the big weather story this week is that we are tracking a better opportunity for thunderstorms. We'll take a look at when those are expected in the full forecast next.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
George St. Chances do come into play, decreasing those storms a little bit Friday, but heading into the weekend, storms will be back on Saturday.
On Your Sideline, sponsored by Chandler Law Firm.
Well, it's no secret that Harlem's varsity baseball team is really good. The back-to-back 3A state champs cruised through the regular season, and now they sit just a playoff run away from the school's second ever three-peat. Being three-time defending champs isn't new territory for Harlem's varsity baseball team, but if this year's team is able to pull off the school's second ever three-peat, it may go down as one of the best three-year stretches of any team ever.
This group in the last 2 years are 102-2 for the last 104 games.
A ridiculous stat to say the least, but maybe even more impressive than that. Head coach Jimmy Lewis was also the head coach during the first Harlem three-peat from 1981 to 83. His team this year riding a perfect 29-0 season.
They know what to expect. They're going to know the pressure that's going to be there. They ought to be able to handle it. I've got great assistant coaches that know how to handle that pressure. And like I say, if I handle it and don't screw up over there on third base box, we might be okay.
Of the 9 state championships in program history, Lewis has been in the dugout for 8 of them. Even after 49 years of being a Bulldog, the Hall of Fame coach doesn't plan to stop chasing that winning feeling.
Right now, I mean, I got a fire going. I don't know. I don't see it going out. Hope it don't go out, but we'll just see. We'll take it 1 year at a time. If we'll see what happens at the end of this one, and then we'll go from there.
Harlem will host Mount Zion Jones in round 1 this Friday at 5 o'clock. We'll be back after a short break.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
There are over 1 billion reasons why high temps will be in the low to mid 80s. Just watch out for the storms on Wednesday. All right, thanks, Riley. This year, our First Alert weather team is doing something called the 3-degree guarantee. Each weekday that your forecasted high is within 3 degrees of the actual high, our sponsor, Tub Doctor, donates $50 to the nonprofit of our choice each month.
In March, that was SOAR Academy of Augusta, and your weather team was 100% accurate, raising a total of $1,000. Today, your chief meteorologist, Riley Hale, presented that check to SOAR Academy.
For the month of March in our 3-degree guarantee, we are 100% accurate. So full $1,000 check heading towards SOAR Academy Augusta thanks to Tub Doctor. Let's go give them a check. Good morning.
Good morning, Riley.
We are thrilled to present this check to you along with Carrie from Tub Doctor. SOAR Academy, y'all help so many amazing students in our area. Can you tell us a little bit about what SOAR Academy is?
Absolutely. SOAR Academy is a project-based school with a heavy focus for our neurodivergent community. So servicing kids with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, twice exceptional kiddos that just need a different way of seeing education and academics.
And tell us a little bit about your school, obviously impacted by Helene. What happened and where are you at now?
Yes, so the facility we were at was 75% of it was destroyed by Helene, and a lot of our equipment was damaged that we used to incorporate project-based learning. And so Pineview Baptist Church was generous enough to allow us to house here temporarily, and we're in the process of trying to purchase a 20-acre facility to really build out a permanent place for this school.
That's amazing. And where did your inspiration come from to start SOAR Academy?
Well, it came from working with the No Child Left Behind initiative in the early 2000s. That was a solution for students that were behind, but it wasn't engaging. And so what we've seen is that project-based learning allows students to truly engage and adopt and just buy in to the process of education and learning and make learning fun.
How many students do y'all have and how many have y'all helped over the years?
Absolutely. So over the years, we've helped 500 students. We currently have 150 between our school, our homeschool group, and our charter initiative, and we have 200 families waitlisted. And so with having a permanent facility, we're able to reach all of those families desperate for a different option for their kiddos.
And Carrie, with Tub Doctor, what made y'all choose SOAR Academy?
We just love how they give back to the community and, of course, invest in children.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add about SOAR Academy that I didn't ask you about?
Just that we are now enrolling. Our wait list for the fall will still be here at Pineview. Again, we have a pending offer to purchase a 20-acre facility and just trying to ensure more students reach adulthood successfully. So follow us on Facebook for updates.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
How sweet is that? I actually had the opportunity to do a Finding Solutions on Soar Academy and tour their facility now, which of course is temporary because they're still looking for that permanent location, but really a great thing they're doing. And some awesome kids, Riley, and it looks like you got to meet some of them as well.
Oh, fantastic kids, and I mean, learning so many cool things. I got to check out their robotic club. They were building a couple robots they were hoping to get into a competition coming up in the next couple of months. Got to meet their leopard gecko, Steve. So just all different types of really cool STEM opportunities for these students. And as Kenesha did say, 75% of their previous building was destroyed by Helene. So that really put a huge impact on a lot of their facilities, their resources that they were offering their students, and the fact that they've been able to rebound like they have and still offer all those things has been incredible.
And a big hats off to the First Alert weather team as well for being 100% accurate, but also helping a lot of these organizations and resources around our community as well. It's not just the SOAR Academy, but I know we had the Croc Center as well helping.
Salvation Army, Prepare for Babies, just a lot of different local organizations that are helping a lot of people. So it's been awesome teaming up with Tub Doctor in order to do this. And luckily for today, we did nail our 3-degree guarantee.
Nice.
Our forecast, 87, actual high 86. So that's $50 more heading towards the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Augusta. That's our April charity this month. Another look at our 7-day forecast coming up just after a short break.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
When you get approached from somebody.
Well, I look across the region, Augusta and Aiken. We do have some cloud cover that's been increasing throughout the day. A little bit more sunshine right now over metro Atlanta. Temperatures in the 80s, though, across the region, and temperatures will stay fairly mild tonight. Overnight tonight, towards early tomorrow morning, we're only going to drop to the upper 50s, so no need for the big coat if you're going to be up early tomorrow morning. Into the afternoon Tuesday, we are expecting another warm day, most likely a degree or two warmer than this afternoon. Cannot rule out an isolated storm that appears to be a higher chance, say, if you live up towards the lake tomorrow, but I would say the majority of us do stay dry during the day Tuesday. Much more likely to see the thunderstorms arrive Wednesday and last even into Thursday for us. Temperatures will cool off just a tad Thursday as the cloud cover sticks with us and a front is around, but as we head into the weekend, more storms look likely by Saturday.
Okay, thanks for that, Riley. We're back live on 26 News at 7.
And for News 12 at 10 and 11 o'clock. Thanks for watching.